I am Vicente Pinho, a wannabe artist, student from Portugal. I am 22 years old, and welcome to my first ever art talk. And because I think it's thematic, I'd like to talk about why is it so hard to start, you know? Why is it so hard to take the next step? Why did I take so long to make my first YouTube video? And why did the process of the first YouTube video prolong itself over a month almost? Why is it so hard? I've watched YouTube for as long as I remember. I am an avid consumer. I love the idea of people being able to support me and support my art and support what I like doing just by watching it without spending a penny. They are giving me something back, you know? It's an almost ideologically perfect career, at least for me. So why did I take so long when I've been thinking about it for years? Well, because eventually you start knowing how life works. And I know that's precious coming from a 22-year-old, but I have had to give up on a lot of stuff. My first career dream, let's say, started and came from my father. My father sings very well, very, very well. And I learned a lot from him while singing. And I had a band, and the band had its highs and lows, and we did some concerts, and we composed some songs, but we never published any. And it was always when we were getting to the point where, okay, this is a good couple of songs, we could make an EP, or we could make a single out of one of these. And we almost finished the production process of the music, and we just started ghosting each other. And we get along very well, mind you. I have no beef whatsoever with my friends, you know? But it's like there was a constant layer of fear on top of everything that we were doing. And maybe that's what it is. It's hard to start because we're fearing the wrong things. What was my fear before making this video? What is my fear right now as I'm speaking and I'm doing the second take right now of this art talk? I only have a few topics. I want to be as authentic as I can be. I don't have a text that I'm reading live to you, because that feels mechanical. That does not feel human for me. Does not feel like the connection is there. What are my fears? Why am I struggling so much to make this video and get the courage to publish it, you know? And I think it's a mix of three things, three fears that I hope not, honestly, but I think some of you people who might watch this, if any, doesn't matter, not right now at least, I think it's 3 fears, a triad of fears that some of you might relate to. The first one is the fear of exposure, or the fear of judgment, you know? I am so scared of putting myself out there, of being judged by, honestly, my non-artistic friends, because I feel like my more artistic friends get this a little more, even if I might find it a little cringe or you know. But there's always fear of judgment, not really from my family, because I thankfully have a very supportive mother and father, and the rest of my family is not as close to me to watch it, I don't think. So it's not really exposure to them or judgment from them that I'm afraid of. It might be from my friends. And that fear of judgment is related to another one, which is a deep feeling of unworthiness. Because what I'm afraid that other people might say is something like, why the hell do you think you have enough experience or enough wisdom or enough eloquence, I don't even know how to say that word, to make art talks? Why do you feel like you're in the position, in the place to do that? Most people you see doing those are people with full-on careers in art before they started doing this. Are people who have been in the world, they have taken their punches. What have I done in arts? I've given a few drawing classes to people who are trying to pass on national exams by the 12th grade, right? You know, at the end of high school to enter college. And I have worked in an association that did some artistic education with children, you know, kind of using recycled materials to make toys and to play and to create, and how to cultivate imagination with kids, basically. But the sum total of those were like a couple of years of experience, and not really experience as an artist, more as an art educator, you know, which is honestly something I'm very fond about. You know? I can see myself striving for that, but why do I think my words have value? Enough value to share, enough value for them to be useful to anybody. And then there's the third fear, which is the fear of failure, you know, which I think is extremely common. The fear of this video not doing well, you know, the fear of trying to do videos for a month or a couple of months and they're not reaching anyone, you know. I have 3 views, 1 from my girlfriend, 2 from my mother, you know, and like and maybe half a view of myself to see if the captions are working right, you know. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. I bet it doesn't feel good to try and do something and it doesn't work out, you know. And that's why it's hard to start, you know. It's hard to start because these feelings of fear and anxiety come up inside of me as I speak of them. As I am speaking right now, I'm feeling more anxious just thinking about it, and it makes sense, right? I'm human. I'm 22 years old. These fears all have a logical and solid ground to stand on. It's not like I'm fearing stuff out of thin air, you know, that has no logical conclusion to it. You know? Makes sense that I am afraid of judgment, you know. Makes sense that I am afraid of failing at it. Makes sense that I am afraid of not being the right person for it, you know. So there's a big mental process that I gotta do. I gotta work through it, you know? And the mental process behind the cure of these fears is to try and answer them in also logic and solid foundations, you know. Why do I care if people are gonna judge me? If I am being true to myself? Because I feel like I am. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna like doing this, because I haven't tried it, you know. I might do 3-4 videos and delete the channel because it's not really for me, you know, or not really right now. Not the time, and that might happen. I'm recording this right now in 9th of September. I am expecting this video to go out this Sunday, in 14th of September of 2025, you know. But I'm gonna start my final year of college by the 22nd, you know, September. And I'm gonna be in an internship because of that final year of art college, and I am gonna have to make a final project for my final year of college, you know. I am graduating in arts by the end of this school year, you know, that is starting now, in visual arts and technologies, you know. It's not a very good course. I kind of want to get it over with because I want to do get some higher education in art history. I would love to be a art educator, you know, a teacher, a history teacher, or an art teacher. I'm not sure, but I feel like teaching is good for me. So why am I, sorry for the detour by the way, but why am I afraid of judgment from other people if I don't know yet if I'm gonna be doing it, you know, if I'm gonna be able to, if I'm gonna enjoy it? And why do I care? Why is it important to me? And the short answer is because I don't want people to be mean. I don't want to feel insulted, but even if they are mean, even if they make jokes about it, even if the jokes are insulting, they're my friends. I know they don't mean it in a bad way, you know. And the people who are not my friends, I honestly couldn't care less, you know. But the ones who are, I know they don't mean it. I know they're happy for me, for trying at least, you know. So why do I care? I shouldn't care. And why am I afraid of failing? Because I am throwing my self-esteem at it, you know. Anxiety is a lot like that. It works a lot like that, or at least I feel like it does with me. You throw your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-esteem into something that you haven't started yet. And the fear of failing at that thing means you suck. No. You know? And it shouldn't. It shouldn't mean that, because you don't. I'm an artist, and I'm studying to become one, you know? But I feel like an artist, you know? So I feel like my essence is tied to what I do. it is tied to what I want to do for a living. It's extremely hard to separate the things that I do from the things that I am. And this is a very romantic notion, and it's a very artistic notion, but the more I know people outside of my professional or academical area, let's say, the more I think that's more common than we artists think it is, you know. My girlfriend's a lot like that too, you know. She's extremely tied to the thing she does, you know, and it's part of her, it's part of her personality, it's part of her essence, it's part of her being. And sometimes it's hard to cope with failing at the things we do, you know, for everyone, I think. But there's no point in being afraid of failing if I'm not gonna start it in the first place, right? I can't fail at something I didn't do. I mean, I can. It's exactly what I'm doing. I'm failing at something I didn't do because I didn't do it. That's a failure. And that's a failure of character, not a failure of circumstance, you know? If I start doing this and I am not being able to keep up with the schedule, I'm not being able to do the work, you know? Or if I start doing this and I am able to do all of that and the algorithm just doesn't like my content and doesn't promote it, or I don't publish it frequently enough and I can't do more because college and my channel is stuck for a year before I get some more free time to do more content, you know, then that's failure of circumstance. But it's not failure of inadequacy necessarily. It's just a question of timing, you know. But if I don't start, then that's failure of inadequacy. I was not even able to start. What am I doing, you know? Why am I stressing over something that I am not even capable of putting myself through, you know? And in relation to the third one, the feeling of unworthiness, I feel like I jumbled it around. I feel like this was the second one before, but yeah, you got it. But in relation to the feeling of unworthiness, you know, maybe I am unworthy. Maybe what I have to say is of no value compared to Adam Duff from Lucid Pixel, you know, or Steven Sapars from Artworld, or Bobby Chu, or Bobby Rebels. Maybe what I have to say has absolutely nothing on those legends and the experience that they have and the way that they speak. But that's okay, because I don't have to be them. They have careers, they are in their 40s and 50s, you know? I'm in my 20s. That doesn't mean I am not enough. I'm enough for what I am right now. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I'm enough wise of a man. I'm enough confident as a man. I'm enough experienced as a man for my age. I feel like I'm doing okay. And I feel like these fears are something worth sharing. I feel like the experiences I'm going through are something worth sharing. I feel like the art that I'm doing, which is not that good, because it isn't. I can see that it isn't. I can see what I have to change. That's why you're also seeing studies right now alongside the painting I try to do, you know? I'm very recent in the digital painting world because I studied animation for first thing, you know? I have a very cartoony style and you're gonna see a lot of cartoony stuff, you know? Because it's my thing, and I'm trying to start to detour from it, but you know, it's in the way I draw, it's in the way I make lines, it's in the way I create shape and form, It's very hard to disassociate from that. But I'm working on it. And the process of working on it has value. The process of failing at it has value. The process of sharing my experience and my career as I stumble upon it has value. Especially for other people like me, in situations like me. You know? That's why Adam Duff, again, one of my first ever art YouTuber experiences, you know. That's why he shares exactly that. What he shares is his process of stumbling upon it, you know. It's his process of hardship. It's his growth. He shares his growing pains, you know. And I love him for that. Because God knows I would not be able to overcome any of these fears if I didn't look at those legends as something less than legends. Because he is a legend for me. Like Adam Duff and Peter Moorbacher and Bobby Rebels have a level of artistic, technical skill that I right now can only dream of. I have no clue how to get up there. The way they design characters and creatures is completely alien to me, and I know it's because of a lack of fundamentals. I'm still 22. I haven't been doing this for this long, you know? Not seriously. I chose arts in high school, you know? I had drawing classes, and I had animation classes, and I had 3D classes, you know? But I didn't take it that seriously. I was in high school. Of course I didn't. I was smoking a lot at the time. I was doing weed at the time. I was barely awake in class. I didn't care about my future. Even in my first college course, you know, I took a college course in a small professional course in game design and digital animation, you know. I took it a little more serious at the time, you know. I had a great internship at Fabamac, a company that does video games for casinos, you know. Sorry, someone was calling me. But my girlfriend is calling me from work. It's her lunchtime, so but I'll call her back in a second. Where was I? Yeah, I had an internship in Fabamac, and that was great. It's a company that does video games for casinos, you know. And it was great, and I was doing very well in 3D at the time. I haven't really touched it since, mostly. It's not my thing. I'm okay at it, but it's not my thing, you know? I don't like it that much. Maybe for animation a little bit, but I haven't animated in a while as well, you know? But I believe that these stumbles of the process are a huge part of it, you know, a ginormous part of it, and that has value in and of itself, you know. Some of my college friends right now, and some of my artistic friends from high school and whatnot, I put a reel on Instagram of myself talking over the studying video that you're watching right now, the sketches of arm bones and the skeleton of the arm, you know. And I was just talking over it for 30 seconds, you know. And they loved it. My friends loved it, you know. My artistic friends loved it. They shared it, they reposted it, they commented on it, they texted me about it, you know. And if that was not enough of a wake-up call of me knowing that this has value, that sharing my experience is valuable in some way, and I know what it is. There was a friend of mine that at one point where there is still my friend, okay, we just haven't talked as much because life happens, you know. But when I first started going to the gym, because I wanted to lose weight at the time, and I had a lot of trouble losing. I still have a lot of trouble losing weight around my belly area, you know. And he always told me that losing weight does not happen in the gym; it happens in the kitchen, you know. Gym helps, but it's more about building muscle, you know. Losing weight is not. That's not where you do it, you know. And you gotta learn what you feed on to know what you'll become. I'm translating a sentence because I'm Portuguese and I don't usually speak English in my day-to-day, you know. But you gotta learn what you feed on to know what you'll become. To get a hold of what you will become. I think that's more what he says. And I feel like it's hard to take the first step. It's hard to take the next step because you're not feeding off of the right fear. Fear is a powerful tool, okay? It's one of your 5 basic emotions, you know? One of those 5 emotions that you are born with, you know? That every animal is born with. Every alive being is born with. And it's because it has a use. And it can fuel you to run in the opposite direction. And if I start fearing not being in the wheel in my own life, not taking control of my future, then I won't start. But that fear of not being the one in control of my own life has to be way bigger than the other 3. You know? That fear has to be way bigger. Way, way bigger. And it is, at least for me it is. I can't live in a life that's not mine. Live in a life that wasn't of my imagination, of my dream. I've had some dreams before, and I'm not letting this one go. I grew up, and I am growing still, and I want to show it. I think this is kind of where I want to leave the art talk for today, you know? I was going to go into some more organizational steps and some things that I want to do. And I will talk a little bit of what I want this channel and my Instagram to be in the following times, you know? But I feel like the art talk part is good enough as it is, you know? I do want to publish one YouTube video. I want to publish a YouTube video every day. Every week. Every Sunday, that's what I meant to say, you know? I don't know what the best time period is for it, but I want to do that, you know? And I want to publish a YouTube video every day, you know? Every week. Every Sunday at least, you know? That would be the perfect goal to achieve, you know? I don't know if I will be able to do it because, as I was telling you, I am starting college in a couple of weeks, restarting college in a couple of weeks. I am going to be doing an internship for college. I don't know where yet, but I will. And I'm going to be doing my final project, which I think I'm going to go for something like a short animated movie, a short film. It's something I've done in the past. It was very bad. I'm never sharing it with the world. It's already on YouTube. You gotta search for it. I'm not doing it. I'm not helping you with those. But I might go for something like that. I think it's more in my comfort zone, and I really have other projects I wanna delve into right now. Actually, this painting that you're seeing is my first ever idea generating thing for that movie, trying to do something about a father and son, like from a fisherman family, that crash on an island, they're kind of surviving, and their personalities are unfolding before them, their relationship is unfolding before them. Something about masculinity and the way we educate our boys, let's say. I don't know yet. Something around it. But yeah, I do think that I would like to have a video a week. I am gonna try to post a couple of reels and a couple of shorts here on YouTube every week. And I'll try to post the art I do in these videos, in these art talks on Instagram as well, I'm gonna try to post them. I'm sorry if you're listening to a lot of noise now in this last part, because my mom just got home. But yeah, I don't know if this schedule will work out. It will probably have a lot of changes in the future. I want to spread these things out throughout the week, and I want to do it in a healthy manner, because there's going to be a lot going on in my life at the same time, and I really want to dive deep in this, but I don't want to burn myself out doing it, because I've done that enough times for someone who's only 22, and doesn't have a career yet. I feel like I've had enough burnouts for this, So I want to do it responsibly and thoughtfully. And yeah, so some of these videos might stop being paintings and might stop being art studies, and might start being some animation processes and painting processes for backgrounds or stuff, or even 3D if I choose to use it. But there might be something like that if depending on my workload, because I might not be able to do this as easily as I have been lately. I want to do a couple of videos talking about chromocorps, because I entered chromocorps for the first time this year, and I grew a lot during it. And I want to do another one on smogists, because it was the first time I participated in a month-long challenge, and I actually finished it, and I think I grew a lot on that one too, especially in my creature design parts and some on my rendering, but I want to see you guys in the next one, I guess. I don't really have an outro planned. I don't have a catchphrase yet. So I guess I will, for now, steal it from Adam Duff, since I already mentioned it so many times in this video. Mentioned his channel so many times in this video. And I'm sorry for my English mishaps, because it's not my first language, okay? I'm trying. But I love you all with all my heart. Keep up the good work. Keep doing the good stuff.